Good afternoon. Welcome to the FTD University webinar titled, What's the Interest in Pinterest? Today, you will explore how to use Pinterest to increase the presence of your business, strengthen the marketing of your products, and increase the visibility of your website. FTD Education Consultant Jeff Corbin will be leading this informative webinar. Involved in the floral industry for over 30 years, Jeff brings a practical perspective of design and business to his presentations. As an active flower shop owner in Virginia, Jeff understands the current challenges facing the floral industry. Once Jeff has finished with his presentation, we will open the webinar up for questions. If you have a question, simply type it in the question box on the upper right side of your screen, and we will take the questions in the order they are received. Please feel free to submit your questions during the presentation, and we will hold them until the Q&A portion of the webinar. So without further ado, I would like to turn the call over to Jeff to begin the webinar. Jeff?
Thanks, Janet. Hello, everyone out in webinar land. How are you today? Thanks for joining us. I'm sure everyone has heard of Pinterest by now, but today's webinar, we're going to start out with the basics, assuming no one has ever been on Pinterest, so by the time we're completed, everybody will have a general understanding of what's going on, how they can maneuver themselves around. Our format today is going to be a PowerPoint presentation, about 20 minutes long. Then we're going to go live into that World Wide Web thing and actually open a Pinterest account, set up some boards, do some pins so you get a true feel of what's going on. As always, and as Janet said, write down your questions or go ahead and type them in on the screen so that we can address them after the World Wide Web visit. We come back to the PowerPoint, do a recap, and then we're going to get onto your questions. First off, what is Pinterest? In the simplest form, think of Pinterest as a bulletin board or even one of those, remember the cork boards, where you can take those push pins and you put up your notes, you put up your pictures, you can rearrange them around if you get bored in the middle of the night, a little of this, a little of that. In essence, Pinterest is a virtual cork board. Every member gets a bulletin board, or actually they get as many bulletin boards as they want, and you want visitors to come visit you, look at your pins, and hopefully your goal is to entice them to copy your pins. Now, I'm sure by now all of you have experienced a bride that walks in or emails with pictures that she's gotten from Pinterest. And if it's like you, it makes me climb up the walls because she shows you the tablescape that's about $4,000. Her actual wedding budget's probably $1,800. And yet when you explain this to her, she seems very confident and very understanding, but she still knows with your talents, you can make it look something similar and give her those 15 tables she has at the reception and give her something for those 14 brides and the 6 mothers and all the other people in her wedding. That probably has put a bad taste in our mouth. And I jokingly, a lot of times call Pinterest bridal porn, and I don't know if that's the best thing to call it, but if you think about it, they sit there for hours. They're looking at the images of these fantasy weddings that they're never going to have, and then we're the ones that have to bring them back to the reality of what we can do for them. We as professionals and we as members who are starting to join Pinterest need to understand that while Pinterest can be entertaining and addictive, we need to approach it as a tool. We need to create interesting boards that people want to visit and showcase our products that will also lead people back to our website. In the case of the brides bringing in these pictures, we need to visit Pinterest and know where they're getting these sources so we are better educated up front and know how to lead them in gently and still capture their sales. Why is Pinterest necessary? Well, honestly, it's where a large number of people are spending time. Since it's so highly visual, it is where brides-to-be and the younger generation are going for inspiration. Just like I said, we need to know their sources of information so we can speak knowledgeably to them when they approach us on things. If you think back 25 years or maybe a little more, do you remember the early days of Martha Stewart back when she came out with these big coffee table books of beautiful wedding flowers, the gorgeous bouquets and the centerpieces? Florists at meetings used to talk about what rubbish they were and how foolish it was that this little bride comes in here and wants this heart-shaped bouquet that has 460 pink sweetheart roses, and we know she can't afford it. Yet at the same time, we were pushing them to purchase what was in our comfort zone. The little nosegays made on foam holders that had the miniature carnations, roses, and baby's breath. We held our stance for so long, and it opened up the door for a whole new enterprise of flower designers to come in, those that embraced the pictures and gave the public what they wanted. Those luscious bouquets of lilacs, the garden roses, and the big romantic hydrangeas. So my point on this is, don't resist and make fun of Pinterest. Get in there, get educated, and fully understand what it offers so that we can use it to keep our customers happy and to do the bottom line of why we're in business, to make money. Right now, Pinterest has over 70 million users, and the U.S. market is its strongest audience, but Europe is catching on extremely quickly, and it's starting to spread like wildfire there. Here in the U.S., usership, there's approximately 4 females to every male. Ironically, in Europe, they're starting to see more males, not more males than females, but a greater number of males using the program. Now, the when of this, the big question is, how or when do I have time to do this? We often say, I will find time. I need to find time. I'll do it when I find time. We've got to stop saying that, and instead, you make time. Pinterest is a social media platform, and a lot of people who aren't involved with it or who hesitate getting involved use that social aspect of it as their wedge of why they don't want to get involved. Oh, it's social, therefore it's a waste. It can't be business. We need to understand it is a tool and see the potential it holds for our business. But what I will say about Pinterest is, on the bright side, once you get the initial setup done, it probably takes less time to maintain your Pinterest boards than any other social media. You get good pictures out there, then you get your followers, then you start getting repins. And that's what we're going for, and we'll explain this further down the line. So you start reaping the benefits. You don't have to work it every day, and it's not quite as interactive as Facebook or other text medias. Once it's set up, allow yourself an hour a week, or maybe even less, to maintain it. So much now for me trying to sell you on Pinterest. Let's get into some nuts and bolts about it, help you get a little better educated, and then you make your own choices as to whether you want to be a part of it or not. First thing you'd want to do is open an account. It's simple, it's painless, and it's free. When we go live, we're going to be opening a Pinterest account. Back in the early days, I don't know if you remember, with Pinterest you had to fill out the information, or so to speak, apply. And then in 24 to 48 hours, they would get back with you and approve your membership or invite you to come into their community. Nowadays, it takes less than about 2 minutes. So they're opening the doors for more people to join them. The invitation thing was actually, I think, a marketing ploy, but it worked very well because the exclusivity of it started a chatter around the country, and that's what built their usership up so greatly in the first year. When opening your account, You're going to be asked if it's a business or personal account. Go ahead and set it up as a business account. There are some benefits right now of using it as a business account, and I think there's going to be more tailored to the business in the future. The current benefits are the ability to read the analytics, i.e. being able to see how users are, or what pictures users are clicking on, how they're entering your website, what maybe other interests that they have are. The most exciting thing I'm finding are these things called rich pins. The image on the screen shows you what one looks like. Rich pins actually allow pricing. Again, when Pinterest started, it was not going to be a commercial site, but they're relaxing on some things and they're allowing this. This rich pin will take images on your website. It will show actual pricing. If your website has the ability to show in stock or out of stock, the rich pin can convey that information as well. There's a lot to it. And a viewer on Pinterest can actually purchase straight off your website by using the rich pin. Future enhancements they haven't really come out with and said anything about, but they are gearing it more toward a commercial setting, which is going to help us as retailers. Before signing up, please read your terms of service and read their etiquette. As with anything, know what is expected of you in the user community so you don't offend anybody, because that's not our goal. Many of you may have already opened up accounts under personal names or used the business name but still under a personal setting, and I had done that also 2 years ago. You can now convert over to a business account, and literally it takes about 1 minute. It happens seamlessly. So don't hesitate on doing that. After your account's set up, you'll want to go to other users and observe what their boards are. Their boards are their groups of interest that they're placing different pictures on. I've listed a few industry sites here that I think are worthwhile visiting, and we will visit a few of them. I'm not going to read them. You can do that yourself. But they've got a lot of good information. And some of this information or some of the pins that they have on their boards, you may be snitching for yourself to use, and that's absolutely okay. After you've gone out and gotten some inspiration, you'll want to create your own boards. Suggested board topics, life events, which are such things as weddings, funerals, get well, new babies. When you're out on social media, I do recommend saying new babies or newborns, not maternity. And the same thing with sympathy, or saying funeral instead of sympathy. I find sympathy is one of our industry terms, and it doesn't convey to the consumer the way it does to us. So relate in terms to your audience as you would talk to them. You were talking to them casually in person, so you talk to them informally as well here in social media. Your holidays, self-explanatory. Products, break up ever how you have in mind. You could do plants, balloons, gifts, wine, candy. You could do green plants, blooming plants. If you have a garden center, you could do greenhouse plants, annuals, perennials, any of the above. That's all up to you and what works best for your market. To begin with, you can go simple, and you can always change the name of a board. You can move product from one board to another. So what you do to begin with, you're not locked in forever. You have flexibility. Seasons, of course, are pretty simple. Really like, and I've seen effective boards of specific flowers. What are the popular flowers you see in your store? Of course, roses. So you could show pictures and images of all different types of roses arranged, or even blooming roses in the garden, or whatever it may be. Sunflowers are hot. Gerber daisies are hot. Tulips are big in the spring. Use your imagination. Wildflowers, that's not specific, but that's a specific grouping. that would make a nice board as well. A note from Pinterest, and I'm going to quote, "People aren't likely to follow a board with just a few pins. We recommend a minimum of 20 to 30 pins per board." In other words, think of it like a food case or something in your store. You need to look successful to be successful. If it's a shelf of food at a bakery, you're more likely to buy when it's a case full of something instead of just that one or two sitting in the case because it looks left over and you're thinking, nah, I don't want that. After you've set up some boards, would like for you to talk to your website provider, if it's an FTD hosted site or an independent hosted site. Talk to the person and ask them to install a pin it button on your site so that each of your products can be pinned. We will show you specifics of this on the live side, but what it does, it allows people roaming through, looking at your website. If they like something, they can click that pin it, and they're on Pinterest. It'll work. It takes the picture back to their site so it goes on their boards, automatically loads up some information about you so it connects it back to your website. It helps build up that customer interaction with your business. On a similar note, but on the opposite side, so to speak, and this is something you will do, and it can easily be done. A lot of times it's even done in the installation of Pinterest when you open the account. Would like for you to put the pin it button on your web browser. What this does is when you're on different pages, whether in Pinterest or anywhere on the web, it will have the little pin it button, as you see up here in the top left-hand corner of the tulips. That will pop up and allow you to click it, and it will bring that picture to your Pinterest site. And you're thinking, well, if I do this, why can't other people do that, and I don't need this? A lot of people don't have the Pinterest pin it button on their browser, so you're giving them another alternative of how to collect your pictures. Our goal is to make life easy for viewers so that they pin as many of our pictures as they possibly can. So again, this is what we would want our webmaster to install the code, and it may sound technical, it's really not. They can go in there and put it right in within 30 seconds so that one of these icons show up on your website and anyone who has Pinterest can start pinning your pictures. This one is specifically on your browser, on your computer, which would allow the user of that browser to add pictures to a Pinterest site. Another thing when you get a chance, and we'll be doing this in the live section, is visiting this URL. It will show if your website already has any pictures that have been pinned. You may be surprised in knowing that you've got 20 or 30 pins already out there and didn't even realize it. That's why put that pin it embedded into your website. It's like allowing other people to do work of getting your images put up there. Speaking of pins, let's be a little more in-depth about it. And maybe I should have said this 6 slides back, but if you haven't already picked up on it, a post on a board in Pinterest is called a pin. So I'm sorry if I didn't clarify that terminology to begin with. So pinning, you have repins and you have original pins. Repinning by far is your easiest. And to begin with, what I'd suggest is you set up your site, go through and use Repin to fill up your boards. This will add bulk to your site very quickly, very easily. Then it gets you time where you can start doing your own pins. What's the difference? Why can't you just go ahead and repin everything? Realize once you click on an image, that image takes you back to the source, i.e., hopefully a website. If I've posted something from my website and you like it, pardon me, if I've pinned something from my website and you like it and you repin it, another person can look at it and click on it, but it's going to bring them back to my website, not to yours. Well, you're thinking, well, maybe, Jeff, there's probably some way I can go in there and put my website back on that picture. That is classified as a no-no in Pinterest etiquette. Always give credit to the original poster. Now, if it's an FTD codified product and you stock that in your store and you have it on your website, then yes, you may see a lot of them out there in Pinterest land that do convert back to the original websites. That's absolutely fine. But don't be stealing something from my site or ftd.com and changing the name on it or the back-end information on it to revert to your website. It's just bad practice, and it could get you reported, and you don't want the Pinterest police showing up on your doorstep, do you? The negative of a repin, 80% of the pictures on Pinterest have been repinned. So what does that tell you? There's going to be a lot of repetition. So therefore, if you start doing original things, people will know. Because when 80% of something is a repin, it's going to be seen on multiple boards. It just has to be. The odds are too great. Pin it off the internet, quick and easy. But you can also upload your own images, and we're going to show you how to do that today, which I really like because that gives you the ability to handle the back-end information, which is the juicy part that's going to help you get a little more business. Another point to realize, your average pin gets posted 11 times, or repinned 11 times. What does that mean? It means if it's got your original information on it, then you've got like 11 new little homes that your website could be going up to. Realize too, because Pinterest is classified as an inspirational site, it relies heavily on images. And your image quality needs to be better than average. Why? Grainy pictures, poor quality pictures, they're going to sit on your site and make it look stale. They're not going to get repinned. Part of the whole repinning process is that ambience, that feel. You look at these beautiful, gorgeous pictures that look like artwork and go, oh! Now, are we all photographers? No, not at all. But look at the picture here on the left. It's nothing over the top, but it's very clear, very clean, very simple. That is great quality, which is cause for repinning. The one on the right, we've put the red box around it, showing the flash splotch on it. No, who'd want it? It's not good quality. Don't even put it up, because actually, remember, your name's on the back of it, on the back end of it. It's going to be a bad reflection on you. There's also a lot of inexpensive photo editing software out there now. We're talking anywhere from $25 to $65 for a photo editing program. Seriously consider about getting one and using it to touch up some of your pictures. Yes, it's going to take a little bit of time, but isn't the image of your store and the brand of your store worth the extra effort? Do you want to be known as a sloppy florist? No, of course not. So if that's the case, put on a spiffy face, make your uploads look good. It's also worth noting, humor is always successful. So if you can find humorous pictures, humorous memes, things of that nature, incorporate them on your boards. They tend to get a better response of getting repinned. Couple of types, or 4 types of pins I want to talk about today, or I've classified things into 4 groups, I should say, are the infographic, the tutorial and how-tos, videos, and the results and testimonies. All of them are pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. The infographic. What is it? It's a graphic that gives information. People like these because they gain knowledge from them, and therefore they have some perceived value to the image and to the source from which it came. They take you as credible, they take it as credible information, and therefore they take you, the provider, as a good source that they want to come to, and they'll bond with your site and continue to come back. I mean, personally, I love the example here of the bulk flower card from FTD. You could easily make something similar with some photo editing software. Be easy to do. Put your own image on there, add your own specifics for care and handling, and upload it on the site. Do you notice something about the size of these infographics? Tall and narrow. Why? They literally stand out above the crowd. When you see a bunch of square pictures and you see a couple of these tall boys standing up, they capture your attention as a viewer. It's going to lead you to them. Then you can lead them to their website, or they'll lead them to the website. The next section, or next type of pin, your tutorials and how-tos. They're a type of infographic, but I classify them as important enough to be a group unto themselves. As a tutorial, they show the viewer how to do something. People love how-tos. How-to pictures or tutorials generally get a 42% greater click-through rate. That means they've clicked on the image to go back to the original site. If you're making your own tutorial images, consider doing some overlay of text on them to help guide the viewer. Also a call to action button, i.e., click here for more information. And lastly, all images that you are uploading yourself now, consider putting your watermark on. Now, what's a watermark? It's a light overlay. In our instance, I use our florist name or website name, radfordflorist.com. It's very transparent, but if you look close on the image, it's there. It's embedded in there. Therefore, if somebody tries to raid your picture, your name is still going to show up there. It actually lessens the chance of your images getting raided or pirated by another florist. Here we've just put a picture of some call to action buttons. It's literally what it says. It calls to action. Act now. Check it out. See it in action. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty forward. The next type of pin I'd like for you to utilize is the video. You can make videos of your own, or you can find videos on YouTube. What's great about uploading your own videos, or let me back up on that, use YouTube to host your videos and then link your pin to that YouTube site, or pull it up to that site from YouTube. Why? You again control the meta tags, the meta information of that video, so they can go back to the original source of your website. That's the whole point of Pinterest: driving sales, driving product recognition, driving your name recognition. Videos are so easy to make now. Set up a corner in your store. Plan a few things out. Could be a simple how to tie a bow, how to transplant a dish garden, how to make a corsage. Your imaginations can run wild with it. Keep your videos 2.5 minutes at max so you don't lose their interest. It's also a lot easier to edit when it's in a smaller form. The last pin to discuss is results and testimonials. The befores and afters are really actually fun to make up. You can see it's this one we've played with a little bit. You could even be a little more cutting edge. I think Pinterest is a good place that we could start probing funeral business more. And in that sense, imagine if you could take an image of a casket sitting in the funeral parlor with no flowers around it as a before, and then do one afterwards with the casket cover and several different sprays around it. Give them the visual of how cold a funeral looks without flowers and how warm and inviting it is with flowers. I mean, that's just one type you could do. You could play up on kids going to prom without flowers. That's very easy to do. Testimonials. Was trying to find an example of a wedding testimonial. That, I think, is a wide open market using an image of the bride, and I think it could easily be, you could get an image from her in her dress holding your bouquet, and ask her to give you a sentence or two that you could embed across the picture and use it as a wedding reference. We're not seeing a lot of them out there yet, but it's cutting edge, and it could gain you a lot of publicity. Next item you do, once you get your back end organized with your pins and your boards, you want people to follow you. When you have followers, your new pins show up on their boards, and thereby it creates interest, so hopefully they look at them, hopefully they'll repin them, and then their followers will get to see it. It's kind of like you tell one friend who tells one friend who tell, or actually you tell your two friends and then it divides on out. Same principle. As mentioned before, place the pin it tag on your website products. That's a must. Even consider putting the follow us badge on your website. That's like the image that's shown down here on the slide. You also need to follow to be followed. That helps. If you're seen out there, again, think of that activity across the board. If you're seen as more active, people want to migrate to you. Announce your activity on Pinterest in other social medias. Cross-market the fact that you're now on Pinterest. If you're getting business cards made up, if you're getting your van painted, put your social media icons on there. It's not just a passing phase anymore. Or if it is, you'll probably have time to get new cards before it's worn out. So don't be afraid to do that. And lastly, and what we want to visit today, is a site called woobox.com. It actually allows you to link Pinterest with Facebook, which would make things a little bit easier for you. Again, we'll show this in the live segment. At this point, I think we're going to go live and start showing you some of these things. Let me pull up the proper site. First thing I want to show you is the embedding of the pin it emblem on a website. This is one of our sites. Notice when you glide over it, the pin it icon comes on. That means it's embedded. Anybody reviewing the site can see this and pin it if they so choose. While we're talking about that, social media icons are listed up on the top of the website. That also allows people to know what social platforms you're on. Secondly, remember when we said visit, let's do Pinterest. There it is, .com/source and the URL you want. In this case, we're doing FTD.com. This shows us the images that have been pinned from FTD.com, that have originated from FTD.com. And there's more of them. There's tons of them. So try this even now. If you're not on Pinterest, you may have some on there. I'm going to try something else too here. Okay, these are pins from our website. Any website you can try this to. Let's do one of our friends, syndicatesales.com. So again, just showing images, but it shows what links back to the site that you've listed up here in the URL, and it can also show you who has pinned it or repinned it. That's kind of interesting. Now let's go ahead, we're going to open up an account and walk you through from signing in to setting up some boards. I'm going to delete this and start from scratch. We're going to call it FTD. Oh, pardon me, they asked for an email, didn't they? Jeff. Hit sign up. See down here, continue as a business. That's what we're going to switch to. Ignore this, it's preloaded as that is our regular site. And can I share something with you too? If you have your own email and own domain name that you can control a little bit, I recommend when you're signing up for social media and different things, use the social media name as part of the email, and then all of these can dump into what we call a catch-all account or a master account that anything can roll into. Why? Number one, you can remember it easier. That way you don't know if it's set up as Johnny Boy at Radford Florist or whatever. You know, it's Pinterest at Radford Florist. It's Facebook at Radford Florist. But more importantly, what interests me is if I start getting emails addressed to Pinterest at Radford Florist, I want to know how this email has leaked out. Is a social media platform selling our names and addresses? That's just me and one of my quirks. We're going to call our business, we're not going to do local, I think we're going to do a retailer. You can do other. Link it back to a website. Let's go. Tell you what, this links to our florist page, but it'll work for this. Okay, we are now the FTD Webinar Florist. Your next step, they're going to want you to choose 5 interests. Of course, we're going to choose flowers. That's what we want. Why are they asking this? Because they want your interest to start giving you feeds. We're going to choose flowers, wedding flowers, garden flowers. We don't want origami flowers, but how about some exotics? Tell you what, some fondant flowers sounds good about now, doesn't it? Done. Now, this is the beauty. Get the Pinterest browser button now. We're going to say yes. And you're going to notice up in the top right-hand corner here, there should be a little red P. There it comes. The Pin It button has now been installed on our browser. There we go. Don't know if I lost you for a minute. I got a signal on this end. Can you see us okay? Showing application. Thank you. These are now the suggested pins. If you want, look at them. But again, I want to go back to the sites I recommended to you. FTD.com. Pardon me, that would be FTD Flowers. Notice they have 34 boards, 1,400 pins, 44 likes, 2,800 followers, and they're following 317 people. I'm going to take a break for 1 second here. Notice the message up top. Don't forget to confirm our email. Let's see if we have an email in here. Please confirm your email. You can visit your analytics. And yes, I want to take you there because I don't want you to be skeptical of using this. Of course, there's nothing here to show now because we've just gotten online. But go in here and use their tutorial. They have a wonderful help page and help information. That's better than anything I can share with you on this webinar. Now, I'm going to go out of this and go back to our original page. We are now a real live member. Now, with that being said, we have nothing. 0 boards, 0 pins. Let's create a board. How about, not seasons, we're going to do fall. What's the description? Crisp autumn colors. Make for beautiful flowers. Fill this in. Do you want to keep this a secret? No, but I will show you something to keep a secret in a minute that is wonderful. We're going to create your board. You have one board created. Let's create another board, and we're going to call this a scratch board. This is my secret board. Keep secret? Yes. What is that? It keeps it in hidden view. Whereas the fall is a public board, your scratch board is a private board. Use it as a scratch pad. That way when you're out on the web visiting things, you can save things there. Then when I've allotted your time once a week, you can go and post it to the specific boards that you want. I'm going to switch over here to another site that I've already set up with a few more boards. It's just a matter of saving time. I call this the Test Flower Shop. Set up 5 boards, one for wedding and then the 4 seasons. And then we set up a scratch pad as well. Now let's go roaming around the internet. Where do we want to go? You could go to, again, we're going back to FTD.com. Kind of have some tight ties with those people. Let's show them off. Bringing up an image. If the image is small, like in a thumbnail, it will not allow you to pin it a lot of times. It has to be a specific size. So don't be alarmed if you don't see the pin it feature in there. Tell you what we're going to do. No, I don't want to pay. I'd rather pay full price. Let's go back to this application. Then we'll start over. Google Chrome seems to do a little better for me than the Internet Explorer. I can use this example here to show you. Pin it. And we're going to set up now we're connected. So we want to pin this specific picture. Notice it asks you here to pick a board. Do I want it under weddings, fall, spring, summer? I'm going to use the scratch pad so that I can come back later and pin it when I want. Every time you pin something, it will ask you to which board. So you go, oh, this is beautiful. That's definitely spring. This could be summer. Okay, you're getting the idea of it. We're going to go back and visit. So I want to see you show you the back end information. Repinning, beautiful images, bury centerpiece. Go up here to your little pencil mark, which is edit. Somebody else has already filled out this information, but look where it takes you. Snippet and ink website. That's not helping you any, is it? We want pictures that have our website there. No, you cannot change this. Remember, that's the easiest way, but that's against etiquette, and it just doesn't work. So let's talk about adding a pin from the web or your device. We're going to do it from our device. We're going to choose an image. some that I've preloaded. They upload very quickly, and of course it depends on your internet connection. We can put it on our summer board, or we're going to put it on our wedding board because it was a wedding. Door hanging for an outside fall wedding. Now the source is the best part. This is where you put your website. I can tell you right now, typing this email web address in, it's not going to like it. I'm going to have to put the HTTPS in there first, but I want to show you. See, don't be alarmed when you get this. Please enter URL. S:2/. Put it in the right place. This wants me to get the pin it button on this web browser. I'm going to hold off at this point. Go back here to weddings. And we see a picture is already up. It's that easy. So we've shown you how to set up your boards, how to log in, how to use the pin it on the browser, how to upload your own image. Now I'd like to take you to WooBox, please, and show you that, and then show you the Facebook page of how it connects. WooBox/Pinterest is where you want to go. You can log in, and again, it's free. They do have some paid subscriptions, but for what we want to do, it's not necessary. Pretty self-explanatory of what steps you need to go through. If you don't, or if you have issues with it, contact me, and I'll set up a time that I'll walk through it with you. I'm happy to do that. Once you connect it to your social media, for example, Facebook, notice across the bar here, it shows Pinterest. This is our actual Pinterest page. It shows up there so viewers can go to it, which helps us, or can help, so that prospective viewers can go ahead and join us, or Facebook members who didn't even know we existed can now see this and start following us. On a side note, you can also add Twitter from WooBox. Just about any social media you can link in, and it's generally free of charge. Believe we have covered everything I've wanted to, so I want to go back and do a recap for us and then have some time for questions and answers. For a recap then, please review the recommended sites, or you'll end up finding your own inspirations. Set up your Pinterest account as a business, and then your homework assignment. Do a minimum of 12 boards with a minimum of 25 pins per board. Set yourself up a hidden workboard or a scratch pad, whatever you want to call it, but it's a hidden thing so that when you have the pin it on your browser and you see a picture of something you like, you can click it. It'll tell you where do you want to put it. You want to put it on your workboard, and then when you have time, you go and add it to the respective board you like. I jumped ahead of myself. You need to install the pin it on your website and on your browser. Using WooBox, you're going to connect your Pinterest with Facebook. You're going to plan each of your boards to have at least one of the following types of pins. So you're going to have one infographic, one how-to, one video, and one results and testimony. Why? Because it offers some visual variety. It keeps people coming back. It makes them linger on your Pinterest site or on your Pinterest boards, which is the name of the game. They're more likely to repin when they linger and see things. That means they're engaging in it. They're interacting in it. They like what they see. Allow 1 hour a week to Pinterest, and I think truly after a few weeks, it probably won't even take you that long unless you get the Pinterest bug and start hanging out on there a lot. But again, don't classify that as business. That's fun time on your own. Lastly, copy down these two URLs. One is the pinterest.com/source so that you can see where your website is on Pinterest or what items from your website have been posted. Lastly, don't hesitate to use the wonderful Help Center of Pinterest. It's a great item. They have very good information. It's in layman terms that it's very friendly to use. Also, on a side note, what I'd like to mention too, don't forget that you can also go to FTD Market for You, and they've got a great department. They will help you with your social marketing. Includes Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. They can help you set up campaigns. They can help analyze what returns you're getting and how you can be more responsive or how you can get a better response from your social media sites. I realize we're running a little bit over at this time, but I'm going to hand it over to Janet and see what questions we have so far. On behalf of FTD and myself, thank you for your wonderful attention today.
Thank you, Jeff, so much for sharing a lot of really great information about Pinterest. We are now open for questions, as Jeff mentioned. So remember, if you have a question, simply type it in the question box on the upper right side of your screen, and we'll take the questions as they come in. We do have a question from Michelle. She didn't set up her board as a business originally. How does she change that, and where does she need to go on Pinterest for that?
Should be right when you're signing in. And if I may, I'm going to go to a live view here. Let's go to clock out or log out, I should say. I'm going to log back in here. We can use this one to log in. Right in here, it should, when you log in, there should be another screen that says, are you a business? Yeah, here, right here. So you see right under here, are you a business? Get started here. And that's where you click. And I've already converted this account. But let's see what it does. Join as a business. If you already have an account, convert now. And you click on that one. And that's about it. It's truly that easy.
All right,
right
great.
Now it's just throwing me in a loop. But if you have any questions, Michelle, email me. We'll walk you through it.
All right, we've got another question. Kathy wants to know if it matters which way you upload pictures to Pinterest, from your phone app or from your computer.
That's a great question. I prefer a computer. From the phone app, and I'm a Droid user, so I can't speak for iPhones. Uploading images, I find it almost a little cumbersome, and more importantly, I can't control the meta information on the back. I really need to go back through the computer and change what I want. So if I upload the images to begin with from the computer, then I'm just as pleased. Now, the other alternative, using your scratch board. Use your phone to upload images there. Then when you sit down at the PC, you can go to your scratch board and edit each of those photographs or images and get the correct information on the back end. I think it's very important to get the back end information. Also on your phone, if Foursquare wants to jump in there and tag the location, say no. Because what happens, it will eat up your URL space. So if somebody goes to click on the picture, it's going to show a map of of where the picture was taken, supposedly. It's more of a link for Foursquare. It does your business no good.
All right. Just a reminder, if you do have a question, type it in the question box on the upper right side of your screen and send it in. We have another question from Janelle. She wants to know, should they separate the typical florist work from your bridal work?
I would, by all means. I think as you become a more mature user of Facebook, i.e., Pinterest, once you experience it more, you're going to do bridal work. You will do everyday work, baby, funerals, parties. You may even, if you do a lot of weddings, you may even want to break that up into receptions, flowers to carry, or bridal bouquets, bridesmaids bouquets, body flowers. So yes, definitely split it out. And remember, if you feel like, oh, I don't have enough personal pictures yet, go and repin things to add bulk to that site to make it look successful coming right out of the gate. And that's where the FTD.com site does a great job. I didn't get a full percentage, but I would say they're about a 50-50 of actual FTD.com images versus repins, which is a really nice mixture. It doesn't get boring as, oh my God, these are all just FTD.com little things. It shows a lot of different unique stuff, so it keeps you coming back for inspiration.
All right. It looks like that may be all the questions we have. You were very thorough, Jeff, and covered quite a bit. If you want to throw up the final slide with your email address again, we can leave that on there. And I just want to remind everybody, a PDF of all of the slides from Jeff's presentation is available online at ftdi.com, so feel free to go grab that, and all of this great information is on there. And then I just want to, if you can just throw up that final slide.
I'm trying.
Okay.
There we go. Let's go back here. There.
Great.
Email me, people, jeff@jeffcorbin.com. I'll try to get you any answers I can. And I appreciate your time so much today. Thank you, Janet.
You're welcome. Thank you. I just want to thank everybody for attending today's webinar. If you missed a portion of the webinar or you want to listen to it again because there was a lot of great information in there, replay will be available at FTD University online later this week. Just click on the FTD University logo on the bottom of the home page. Click through to the webinar series page. Of course, we will be sending you a very brief survey to gather your feedback on today's webinar. Please take a minute to complete this survey and help us improve future webinars and other education programs that are available for you. The next FTD webinar is scheduled for Tuesday, June 16th. Kyle Brown, owner of Lone Star Bloom, will share best practices for financial benchmarking to help you get on a path to profitability. You'll learn to identify key metrics and solutions to fixing metrics that are not in line with proper benchmarks. The registration is already available at ftdi.com, so be sure to register as soon as possible to reserve your spot. And again, thank you, Jeff, for sharing a lot of great information on using Pinterest to increase the presence of our business online. This concludes FTD's webinar, What's the Interest in Pinterest? Thank you.